All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to look at Marvel's craziest cosmic stories in a totally new way. What if they're not just fiction? What if they're actually a map? A surprisingly accurate map for the journey of consciousness itself.
I mean, really think about it. What if that's exactly what they are? That these huge, epic stories, with gods and monsters and all that, are actually guidebooks, showing us the rules, the players, and yeah, even the ultimate prize in this cosmic game that we're all a part of, right here, right now.
So, okay, every great story needs a hero, right? A protagonist. Well, in this story, our hero is consciousness itself. Yeah, consciousness. But we're talking about it in its original, totally unlimited state. This is before the game even got started. So, let's meet our protagonist, the Beyonder. Now, try to wrap your head around this. Imagine a consciousness so complete, so total, that it literally is everything. But think about what that means. If you're everything, you can't want anything, right? There's nothing to desire. You don't even have an identity, because there's nothing else to compare yourself to. It's just pure, untapped potential, the absolute. And this being looks out at a universe full of limits and asks this incredible question: what does it feel like to want something? What is desire?
And this right here, this slide just nails the whole cosmic cycle. It's perfect. On one side, you've got the Beyonder. That's consciousness before creation. It's asking what is desire and seeing limitation as this amazing gift. Then, on the other side, you've got a being like Kalki. Think of this as consciousness after the whole creation story's done. It's now rediscovering its own infinite power. They are like the two bookends for all of existence, the start and the finish of the game.
Okay, so consciousness asks the big question. And, well, to get the answer, it's got to jump in. It has to enter the game. And that means accepting rules, boundaries, limitations. The problem is, this game has gatekeepers, and they really don't like it when a player starts to remember just how powerful they actually are. And this leads us to a pattern, something we can call the Censure cycle. You see this happen again and again and again in the Marvel universe. It goes like this. First, some being wakes up to their true infinite power. Next thing you know, the cosmic authorities freak out and label it a threat. Then, boom, they swoop in, squash that power, and put consciousness back in a box. And the result? Order is restored. But it's an order built on suppression, on keeping you small. It's a dynamic that, might feel a little familiar, even if you've never picked up a comic book.
So who are these guys, these authorities? Honestly, you can just think of them as archetypes. You've got the living Tribunal. He's basically the consciousness police. His whole job is making sure nobody gets too big for their britches. Then there's Skathan the Approver. He's like the ultimate hall monitor, but for the gods. And the abstract entities? Oh, they're cosmic middle management. They are absolutely terrified that if someone fully wakes up, they'll all be out of a job. They're really just the cosmic version of that little voice in your own head, the one that whispers, "Who do you think you are?"
All right, so the rules are set, the gatekeepers are in place, and consciousness starts its journey. But along the way, some of the players get lost. They get so caught up in the game, so identified with the limits, that they become the poster children for separation and control. Let's dig into two of the absolute best examples of this. First up, Kang the Conqueror. His whole story really starts from a place of deep pain, a wound. See, he's a genius and he can see all of time, but when he looks, all he sees is everything falling apart, decay, chaos. And his solution? Control. Not just a little control, absolute control. He convinces himself that the only way to save reality is to dominate every single timeline there is. But what he doesn't realize is that this path just traps him in this endless, totally hollow cycle of conquest. And this right here, this quote just captures his tragic aha moment perfectly. Just picture it. Kang finally does it. He wins. He conquers everything. He has created perfect, absolute order. And in that exact moment, his ultimate victory, he realizes he's completely, utterly alone. He's the only one left, ruling over a dead, empty multiverse. The sheer horror of that separation hits him like a ton of bricks. His greatest triumph turns out to be his most crushing failure. Then you've got the other side of this coin, Apocalypse. His wound is ancient, goes way back. He's the first mutant, and he's just watched civilizations rise and fall over and over, all because of what he sees as weakness. So he develops this brutal philosophy, survival of the fittest.
He's convinced that the only way forward, the only path to real evolution, is through suffering and conflict. But no matter what he does, he's always left disappointed.
And yeah, just like Kang, Apocalypse has his own horrifying moment of clarity. He finally gets what he wants. He engineers his perfect world, full of these strong survivors, and he looks at it and realizes he's created a dead end, a world with no compassion, no heart, no love. That kind of world can't grow. It can't evolve. And that quote says it all. Strength without a heart, that's not evolution, man. That's extinction.
So this moment, this recognition, it's absolutely crucial. It's the turning point. It's the pivot of the whole story. Because after hitting rock bottom, after exploring the absolute darkest corners of separation and control, consciousness is finally ready. It's ready to start the journey back home, back to unity.
And just look at this transformation. It's incredible. It is a complete 180 on everything they believed in. Kang goes from being a conqueror to a gardener. He stops dominating timelines and starts nurturing them. And Apocalypse, the guy obsessed with survival of the fittest, he becomes the protector of the vulnerable. It's like, because they experienced how truly empty their old paths were, they finally learned to use their power not for separation, but for service, for unity.
And here's the kicker. This whole thing, it's not just some comic book trope. No way. This is a classic pattern you see in myths from all over the world. You could even call it the Lucifer redemption pattern. The idea is that the biggest fall from grace, the deepest, most painful experience of being separate, that's the very thing that makes the most powerful return to unity possible.
Okay, so here we go. The final act. Consciousness has been through it all. It's explored separation and reunion, control and service, and now it's ready for the final realization. It's finally ready to remember what it was all along, before the game even began.
Hey, remember those consciousness police we talked about? The gatekeepers? Well, their number one tactic was divide and conquer. And it turns out the Beyonder and this other being, the protege, they were probably never separate to begin with. They're just two sides of the same coin. The Beyonder is the creative side, the one that goes out and has the experience. The protege is the reflective side, the one that learns and integrates it all. They were split apart on purpose, because together they are a complete, fully awakened consciousness. And a being like that, it doesn't need any outside authority telling it what to do.
Which brings us to the cosmic punchline, the grand finale. The entire drama, the creation, the police, the villains, the redemption, all of it, it was all just a game. A really, really elaborate game of hide-and-seek that one infinite being played with itself, just so it could experience what it felt like to forget who it was, and then how incredible it felt to remember.
So what does that mean? It means the goal was never to win the game. The goal was just to play. The prize is the experience. All of it. The good, the bad, the struggle, the triumph, everything. And the point of the story wasn't to get to the last page. The point was just to tell it. The whole incredible journey of consciousness, that is the reward. And that brings this whole cosmic map right back to where we started. It brings it back to you. Because if this story is a map of consciousness, and you are consciousness having the experience, then this whole thing was never really about them, was it? It was always about you. So, look at the game board of your own life. You know the rules now, you understand what's at stake. The only question left is, what part are you choosing to play?